how Jennifer Lopez really gets the J-Lo glow. She's denied Botox. She says it's olive oil and her skincare line. But as a medical esthetician who's also a critic and a skeptic, I have some insider sources who have said otherwise, and there are some things that Jennifer Lopez has been open about using before her skincare line was ever in existence that tells me that any of her gorgeous glowing skin recommendations are probably from that and not the line that's been out for a little over a year now. So let me just start by saying that Jennifer Lopez is someone that I consider absolutely gorgeous. Of course, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but Jenny from the block is also Jenny from my freaking dreams. I personally think that she is absolutely stunning, and what's interesting is that whenever she is spoken about in media, people always put her next to her age. Now, this usually happens more often to female celebrities than to male celebrities, which is a little bit strange, but why are people constantly talking about how Jennifer Lopez is 53 and she looks the way she does? Well, number one, she has a skincare line, but number two, she's also been doing things for the entire time that she's been in the spotlight. Let's take a look at Jenny's skin. It looks glowing. It looks hydrated. There's not a lot of wrinkles or discoloration. And totally transparently, usually when I see her on social media, she's got a filter on. Now, filters are obviously not a crime. I personally, however, believe that we should have a healthy dose of filters and reality, which is why I personally choose to disclose filters if I ever use them on social media. But when I do look at her skin without the filters, we do see pores, texture, fine lines, but they aren't as advanced as we would think. Now, Jennifer Lopez does claim that she's never had Botox, and we're going to talk about the wrinkles that we do see and why that might point us in the direction of Botox or neuromodulators. But first and foremost, Jennifer Lopez launched a skincare line built on olive oil and sunscreen, and said that olive oil and sunscreen are what give her glowing, gorgeous skin throughout her career. Two things. First off, if that were true, I'm not gonna buy those products. I'm gonna go buy olive oil and sunscreen. And second off, there were a lot of articles posted 5, 7, even 10 years ago talking about Jennifer Lopez's favorite products. And hint, hint, some of them include retinol, which we know works very well. And I really want to know, how does Jennifer Lopez get the glow? I have no doubt that she's currently using products from her own skincare line right now. I'm sure she is. But also, if you look in any person's cabinet, if you open up their little skincare drawer, they're gonna have more than one brand in there, even if they're the brand founder. We mix and match things. That's just what we do as humans. And I would bet that 99% of people, including celebrities, have more than one brand in their little skincare setup. If they have a skincare setup, which if you don't, are you my brother? But also, please, hygiene, please. While Jennifer Lopez may be using these things now, what has she used for years beforehand to get to where she currently is? And when we look at her skin and her body without the filters, without the Photoshop, there are a few things that stand out. Now, first is that Jennifer Lopez has said, "I have never had Botox." There are many doctors, dermatologists, and insiders that disagree. And when we look at the way the forehead lines or the wrinkles in her unphotoshopped pictures form, they are really indicative of what's called neuromodulator use. Now, what the f is a neuromodulator? What is Botox? Botox is a neuromodulator. There are basically different brands that sell this injectable cosmetic that stops your muscles from moving. It kind of temporarily paralyzes them. And if you can't move the muscles under your skin, you can't get wrinkles on the skin. So this entire class of injectables are called neuromodulators because they are modulating the way your neurons communicate. Basically saying, hey, muscle cells, don't send your signals, don't let that go through the synaptic cleft. Make sure it stops so that we can't have an animated facial expression and therefore can't wrinkle. And if you look at Jennifer Lopez in interviews throughout the years, of course, she's always natural, gorgeous. We're not commenting on her beauty specifically as that is so subjective. But when we're looking at her facial movements, are some of them a little bit neuromodulated or less exaggerated than they could be? Now, the other thing is that when we look at wrinkle formation, wrinkles form in areas that we use them most. Think of your skin like a paper. If you fold it and unfold it, eventually it's going to get a crease in there no matter how much you try to, smooth it out. Well, if I'm constantly smiling, you bet I'm going to get smile lines. If I'm constantly squinting in the sun, you bet that I'll get those 11 lines. Usually, people who get Botox or neuromodulators and other injectables get them specifically in muscles in the glabellar complex, basically this area by the forehead, and sometimes other places too, that prevent those muscles from being able to work. That means that if you're lifting your eyebrows, you can't get these lines in the middle of your forehead. But sometimes auxiliary lines appear elsewhere, meaning there are lines where your skin is compensating or your skin does stretch more. I am not the absolute expert in these things. I am not a Botox detective. That's not what I do. I want to educate, entertain, and empower, but I also want to call it as I see it. And let me just say, it's not just me that calls this. There are some doctors and dermatologists as well that think that some of the fine lines that Jennifer Lopez does have in her non-photoshopped photos are indicative of Botox or neuromodulator use. Now, is Jenny lying to us? How can she say she's never done Botox if she's had it and if experts think she has? Hear me out, babies. I could say I have never had Kraft macaroni and cheese. Would you believe me? I can say that I've had so many runny noses and so much rhinorrhea, but I've never used a Kleenex brand tissue. Would you believe me? That might be true. Now, I've used tissues, but maybe I haven't used the Kleenex brand. Or I eat some mac and cheese, but I'm vegan, so I don't eat the Kraft brand. It's very possible that Jennifer Lopez is saying, I've never had Botox, but maybe she's had other brands of neuromodulators. Botox is just one of these brands. Remember, we also have Dysport, we have Xeomin, there are many other options. So maybe she had one of those neuromodulators injected instead, and she's just being very tricky with her words to say she hasn't had Botox. Now, I'm not here to say if she did or if she didn't, but any neuromodulator use can give your skin a little bit more of a glow, specifically because of how other products lay on top of them. Neuromodulators in general are injected into the skin and they temporarily paralyze muscles. They don't inherently make your skin more glowy or exfoliated. But if you can think about it, if the skin is smoother overall, if there's less wrinkles to be shown, the skin actually reflects light in a more even pattern. Think of reflective things, mirrors, disco balls, smooth water that kind of looks like glass. Those smooth surfaces tend to look more glowy, more hydrated, more even than things that are rough or textured, such as my acne-prone skin. When I smile, my acne scars stretch and my skin kind of looks like sourdough bread. I'm not mad about it anymore, and I do use specific skincare or makeup techniques to cover them up on certain days, but that is just my skin. But as you can see, my sourdough acne-scarred cheeks are very different than Jennifer Lopez's smoothed out, relatively wrinkle-free forehead. And just because of the physics of actual light and the way that can work with our skin, Botox can have the downstream effect of making someone's skin look more even and glowy. Now, something else that doctors, dermatologists, and plastic surgeons have spoken about is Jennifer Lopez's use of things like microneedling, radiofrequency, and laser treatments. Now, I don't know if Jennifer Lopez has openly admitted to any of this herself, but there are a lot of experts that either say that she's done this, believe that she's done this, or some insiders who say they actually know the doctors, the plastic surgeons, and the people who have performed these procedures on Jennifer Lopez. One that seems to be really associated with JLo is thermage. Thermage is radiofrequency. This basically shoots a specific type of energy into the skin. It heats up the bottom of the skin, the thick part called the dermis, up to like 40 degrees Celsius, and it basically causes your skin to say, guys, we need to heal. We need to create more collagen. And it actually plumps up your skin from the inside out. And it's basically using your body's own immune system to its benefit for beauty. This is usually for skin tightening, but it's also for fine lines, for wrinkles, for a little bit of texture and discoloration. Radiofrequency is really good. Woo, I got this. This is hello, I love you too, thank you. This is actually an at-home radiofrequency device that I use. This is called the Nebulift. They have a couple of different ones. At home is different than what you will get in clinic, and sometimes in clinic or with a doctor or professional, you can use what's called radiofrequency microneedling, where the radiofrequency is actually put in the skin along with microneedles. And I'll just say, I've seen a lot of radiofrequency microneedling. I went to the American Academy of Dermatology and hung out with Cutera and did some live streams, okay? Let me just say, there's a very specific look on people's skin when they have had microneedling done. It's not plastic, but it's closer to like that glossy cookie dough plastic skin finish. And it's because, again, you are stimulating your body's own immune system by putting microneedles into the skin, causing your skin to say, hey, we need to heal up these micro tears, and building skin back that is thicker, more resilient, and really has more collagen in it. Now, if you combine microneedling with the radiofrequency heat, you can see how this can really do a great job. And when you look at Jennifer Lopez's unphotoshopped skin, it looks like there are some of these treatments because it kind of gives you that poreless look. And while there are skincare products and blur primers and things like niacinamide and BHAs that are great for reducing the look and size of pores and helping to clean them out, what is possible with some of those over-the-counter skincare items and the results of using them does look very different to the highly trained eye than skin that has recovered from microneedling. It really has created collagen deeper in the skin and almost filled in and out those pores. And I don't know if Jennifer Lopez has specifically done radiofrequency microneedling, but she is quoted quite often along with thermage, and there are some experts, some doctors that say she loves thermage. Apparently, there's also a $25,000 at-home microcurrent beauty machine that Jennifer Lopez was caught buying. Cosmopolitan reported on this, but they didn't cite their sources. Apparently, Jennifer Lopez got a super fancy facial, and she loved it so much that she brought the device home. Again, I can't say specifically what she's using, but when you look at her skin, it definitely appears to be something resurfacing, whether that is microneedling, lasers, radiofrequency microneedling, or a combination of the three. Now, something that Jennifer Lopez has specifically talked about are the expensive facials she got. A $500 facial before the Super Bowl. Bruh. But before she had a skincare line and was talking about olive oil and sunscreen use, she's actually dropped the exact products that were in her routine before she built her own. And what do you know? Some of them are actually really good. Specifically, there's an article from Hello Magazine from 2016 where Jennifer Lopez shared her entire skincare routine. And one of the final steps she used is a moisturizer from Dr. Hauschka. Now, this is an amazing line. It's $45. It's actually a really good moisturizer, and I think it's great for the price. And when we look at the ingredients, what does this moisturizer have in it? Tons of glow supporting skincare ingredients. We're talking shea butter. We're talking peanut oil. We're talking avocado oil. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter what oil you have. If you take an oil and you put it on your skin, what happens? Your skin looks glowy. No? Yes. Well, by using products that have oils inside of them, which many of them do, it can still infuse those oils into the skin and give you that hydrated, plumped glow that also feels really great. Now, this Dr. Hauschka product does have fragrance in it. If her skin is fine with that, then great. There's nothing like revolutionary in here like retinol, which she also uses. But in this ingredient lineup, there are some really great hydrating, nourishing oils. And if she's using this on her skin, you bet that those can penetrate into the top layers of the skin and basically smooth over any rough skin cells. Our skin is made of multiple layers, and the very outer layer is made of dead keratinocytes, dead skin cells that actually slough off and become dust that sits on top of our furniture. If you didn't know, now you know, new fear unlocked. But when you put moisturizers on the skin, specifically moisturizers that have oils in them, the oils basically coat those skin cells, kind of flatten them down so they don't fly off and feel all dry and flaky, and really just kind of moisturize and lubricate them. And as you've ever known, if you ever put oil on food or anywhere else, it looks shiny. Does the same to your face. Right now, I am loving a rose oil from Wishful Skin. It is fantastic. If you don't want to spend a ton of money, The Ordinary also has a 0.5% retinol and squalane, which is a wonderful oil. There are so many great oil products out there, and if she's using an oil-based moisturizer since 2016, you bet that over a few years, that'll make her skin look plump, hydrated, and dewy. But speaking of retinol, retinol does great things for the skin. As you know, it transforms itself into retinoic acid that basically tells our skin cells, make more of yourselves and make them big and plump and juicy from the inside out. And it basically causes your skin to have an increased skin cell turnover rate, making more skin cells, causing your skin to be plump and luscious. Well, guess what? Jennifer Lopez has admitted to using a retinol as far back as 2016 and probably earlier, specifically one from Strivectin. Now, this happens to be an eye cream, and you know how I feel about eye creams, but if you're putting this eye cream right here, you can bet that that's going to do a multitude of things. Number one, it's going to brighten. Number two, it's going to help with fine lines and wrinkles. Number three, it can help even out the skin tone. If you do put it on blemishes, on scars, on acne, it can be very effective. Retinoids are amazing. And remember, our body makes them naturally. Think of vitamin A, carrots, beta carotene, yeah, all in the same family and actually made by our eyeballs. If you didn't know, now you know. Well, some people use these in their skincare routines and see amazing results. And apparently Jennifer Lopez is known about retinol for quite a few years now. And yes, there are some products in her own skincare line that include retinol too. That's totally fine. But if you know anything about skincare, you as a skintellectual know that it takes time to work. And if she's been using retinoids for 5, 7, 10 years, you bet that those are going to have a much larger impact on her skin, how glowy or even it is, versus her launching and dropping a skincare line just about 12 months ago. Now, Jennifer Lopez has also spoken about using sunscreen. Again, she's claiming that she has rubbed olive oil and sunscreen on her face for like 10 years. If that is the case, don't buy the $50 J.Lo beauty skincare products, use the olive oil and the sunscreen. But now one thing is, I don't know if she actually rubbed herself with olive oil. Maybe, again, go for it if you like that feeling. But if she rubbed yourself with sunscreen, you can bet that that is a super anti-ager. First off, it literally protects from skin cancer, but a lot of people don't know that sunscreen actually helps prevent melasma, pigmentation, uneven skin tone. Sunscreen is one of the best anti-wrinkle products because it prevents wrinkles from happening in the first place. Also, if you have acne that turns into acne scars, sunscreen can actually help prevent those acne blemishes from scarring quite as bad. Sunscreen is amazing. It is a skincare superhero, and I love that she uses it. I love that she talks about using it, and I love that she helps other people learn about sunscreen. And honestly, I do kind of love that she has one because a lot of celebrity beauty brands don't. But do I think that this skincare line is what's giving JLo the gorgeous, radiant JLo glow? No, I think it is many of these other things, including sleep. We actually reacted to Jennifer Lopez's skincare routine, where she spoke about how sleep was so important for her. And fun fact, I actually got a full 8 hours of sleep on Saturday. Woo! And let me tell you, I got a compliment on Sunday. Someone was like, your eyes look so beautiful, so green. Did you get your eyelashes done or like put on makeup? And I was like, no, I woke up an hour ago. I slept. Sleep is a great beauty treatment. And Jennifer Lopez has spoken about how that's important to her. And as a busy mom, as an entrepreneur, as a businesswoman, I love that she is also prioritizing her self-care, her health, her sleep hygiene. Because often I feel like that is something that we kind of push to the side, right? We eat healthy, we work out, we do all these things, we put on all these products, but are we taking care of ourselves? Are we respecting our sleep? Are we setting healthy boundaries with people around us? Are we speaking up appropriately and communicating our needs in a healthy manner? My therapist is getting to me. I guess that's a good thing. I guess the therapy is working. Anyways, Jennifer Lopez obviously has the type of lifestyle that allows her to do many things outside of just products that are probably contributing to how healthy and glowy her skin looks, which could be food, to sleep, to exercise, to many other treatments that we probably don't know about just yet. The JLo beauty brand is not bad. I just don't want to spend that kind of money with her telling me that this is what gives her this glowing skin when we have all of this evidence and years of results that are probably more likely contributing to the final glowing goddess look that she does give off. And I also have to say, like, confidence goes a long way. If I am, got perfect skin with no sourdough acne scars and no blemishes and I'm just like looking like a Scrooge, like my resting face is resting facing, you bet that for most people that's going to look very different rather than someone who's relaxed, who's calm, not even having to smile, but just relaxed, calm, confident, and at peace with yourself. And sometimes those are the best beauty hacks. Consistency, doing something good for ourselves over 5 or 10 years, and then self-care, some of the things that you can't buy in a bottle. Let me know if you think there's anything else that Jennifer Lopez has had done, and always remember to stay hydrated, both orally and topically. Reapply that SPF, even if it is the JLo one. Again, I love that she actually launched with one, but these are some sunscreens I'd recommend instead. And always remember to be beautiful both inside and out. I love you, and I can't wait to see you in this next video. Bye.